Hi, welcome to another episode of Foxy Little Nuggets, where the kebab of reality meets the chili sauce of news, and somehow the whole thing becomes palatable. Our first nugget is Andy Burnham's transition team. It's producing, I won't say good ideas, with the quiet financial menace of a man ordering champagne on somebody else's tab. Team Burnham is reportedly looking at mass devolution. Land value taxes, property taxes, wealth taxes, beard taxes, window taxes, whatever taxes they think they can get away with. And they want to fund a huge house building programme. Can't possibly happen, of course. Labour is already struggling to hit its house building targets. Councils have lost much of the expertise needed to build at these kind of scales. And the Treasury cupboard currently contains a note saying, please stop opening this door. There's also chatter about free basic energy. This is a policy where, depending on who's in your house, you get so many kilowatt hours a week free. This overly complicates a system where it'd be much easier just to reduce the cost of energy, which is easily done. But, I suppose it sounds lovely in the same way as free beer sounds lovely until you wake up with a hangover. Dearie me. And then, of course, there's the truly unifying rumour. Ed Miliband as Chancellor. Britain may be divided on many, many policies, let me tell you. Immigration, flags, Brexit, pensions, taxes, whether Count Binface is now a genuine threat to democracy. But one thing does, thankfully, bring the country together, and that is Miliband. Nobody wants him. Nobody. So at least we're all agreed on that. Second nugget up is Scotland's NHS continues to do its best impression of a system held together with string and gaffer tape. New figures show ambulance waited more than 18 hours outside the University Hospital in Monklands during the winter flu season. 18 hours for ambulances to get rid of the patient on board into the hospital because they had no way of bringing them in. They did not have enough room. Scotland doesn't have a blue light crisis. It's got a parking light crisis, hasn't it? The SNP says the system is under strain. Yeah, you think. But when you're spending 18 hours in the back of an ambulance, this isn't even a system under strain. It's not even a system. It's a failure. Now, the government says that it's going to try its best to improve for this year. But without funding, it can't. And it keeps spending all the money on independence. So don't hold your breath. Thirdly, we're going to move on to schools. Schools in England, they've had a problem. They've been told that teachers are going to get a pay rise, but this isn't coming out of new money. It's coming out of existing school budgets. So the schools will have to fund it themselves. Now, the government says it's going to provide an extra 1.8 billion for a 6.5% rise over 2 years. But to do that, it's going to cut 460 million a year going forward. So no new money for the pay rises. You're just shifting it from school maintenance, fixing the buildings, new textbooks, new equipment and things like that, actual educational needs, and instead give it to teachers. Super. Basically, schools up and down the country are going to have to check behind the sofa, aren't they? Go through old suits, see if you can find 460 million hanging around doing nothing. Probably not. The unions say the missing money could mean thousands fewer teachers and support staff. The Lib Dems say the schools are already on the brink and this could push some completely over. Teachers are now threatening industrial action, not over money this time, but over lack of facilities. And so the message now to head teachers is clear. Pay your staff more, but you've got to find it. Cut something else, expand your breakfast clubs, deliver free meals, support special needs, improve standards, fix attendance, stop vaping, solve anxiety, reduce executive pay, and do it all with 2 glue sticks, a laminated sheet of paper, some sticky back plastic and a rubber band. Good luck, head teachers. Do you think they're going to be successful? No. Fourth nugget tonight is we're going to go talk about Farage, of course, because not a day goes by we don't. He is heading back to Clacton this weekend to begin the campaign for his, I suppose you call it self-triggered by-election. But the big parties have decided not to play. Labour won't stand, the Tories won't stand, the Lib Dems won't stand, the Greens won't stand, Restore won't stand. They try to say it's a matter of political, strength to show that we're not weak. Actually, it is. It's a show of strength. You're childish. You're just absolutely petty-minded and childish, and you know you're actually going to get your asses handed to you. It does mean, of course, that Farage will win. Massive majority. 80%, 90% even. He'll go back into Parliament and he'll be going like, I'm the most popular MP in Parliament. No one else has got a victory quite like mine. And he'll be right. And so this great constitutional showdown of the age will be, of course, Farage versus Binface, but you got to be in it to bin it. And to be fair, it's probably more coherent than most Prime Minister's questions. But it is going to be a fairly easy victory, I think. The establishment, despite their claims, they are running absolutely petrified of Farage and reform. So there we go, Clacton left with the most British election imaginable. There'll be a serious politician, a man wearing a bin, one or two weirdos. Not that the man with the bin isn't, but he's fun. There'll be one or two weirdos who'll be going in thinking they're going to save their deposits and probably won't, because it'll just be like little extremists or something. And then a very low turnout, I suspect. But there we go. Should be a win, though. Finally, we have our and finally. It's and tonight's and finally comes with whiskers. George, the Stourbridge Station cat, made an appearance in political discussion this week, promoting local rail, civic pride, and possibly the shortest railway line in the world. Frankly, after a week of tax plans, prison rows, NHS queues, school funding fights, and politicians arguing with bins, which is where they get most of their policies from, it's believed, George, the cat, may be the most reassuringly public figure in Britain at the moment. All he asks for is food, attention, and a warm place to sit. And after all, it's all any of us want, isn't it? That already, though, makes him more honest than most manifestos, and certainly less, less annoying than most politicians. All you have to do is give him a purr, and so give him a stroke and he'll purr. So here's to George. Small railway, big personality, no obvious tax policy. He has a harsh word to say on mice, but, don't we all? So probably understands the rail network better than most of the cabinet, to be honest. And that's all today's foxy little nuggets. I hope you've enjoyed them. The country, of course, is, as always, divided, except in its dislike of Miliband. The state may be wheezing. Westminster is locked up in a bin-based constitutional crisis. But somewhere in Stourbridge, a cat is still turning up for duty. Good night.